Peace. Welcome to a special episode of Chicago Detox. Yeah, it's been a minute since and we meaning me. It's been a minute since I've addressed some of these issues, I guess, under the Chicago Detox Act. But to kind of bring it back into, you know, to kind of get back in the mix, you know what I'm saying? Like, what is Chicago Detox? So, what is Chicago Detox? First of all, what is detoxing? You know, here's the Webster's definition. But the reality is, when you're detoxing, you're actually releasing the toxins from you intoxin. You know what I'm saying? And that's not necessarily like the definition, but that's my definition, you know. So when you intake stuff, you actually need to release it out, or, you know, have some form of system or filtration to actually weave the bad out. You know what I'm saying? So by creating Chicago Detox was kind of saying, more so addressing mental health from a perspective of like self-cleansing, and more so trying to ingest more positive outlooks. So when you look at all the violence, all the historically disinvested areas, you know, the people, you know, the buildings, you know, that were torn down, and like people actually having to relocate and becoming like migrants in a sense, you know, when it comes to having to migrate from the community that you were born in to some brand new space, you know. So it's like all of this stuff, you know, even the music, you know, constantly like seeing people get killed, you know, constantly just becoming desensitized to what's going on in the city, you know. And Chicago Detox was representing some of the different outlooks that we should have on various issues that affect people in this great city of ours called Chicago. So, I mean, I feel it's hitting other communities that weren't the target audience for Chicago Detox when we first started it in 2018, I believe. But the reality is, now a lot of people are, one, creating and spreading awareness and talking about mental health, you know, and actually trying to have these types of conversations. For one, wanting to address violence. Two, allocating resources, which you definitely see a lot of misappropriation of funds going on in Chicago. That's not really what I'm trying to talk about, but I'm just saying, like, with Chicago Detox, those are a part of some of the issues that need to be addressed, you know, because if you're more so trying to correct the problem, you actually have to go to the root of the problem, which is something that the newly elected mayor is campaigning for with his holistic approach to things, which is kind of similar to what we're talking about with Chicago Detox. But the reality is, with all these communities, it's going to take a village to actually, pull this off. Like, you can't just expect, a couple people to, like, kind of take the lead and everything just take off. So let me know what y'all think, would you all like to be a guest on Chicago Detox? Do you feel that Chicago can be changed? Because this past week there was a few events, and a few other communities were able to come together and actually not have as much violence as as it usually is, and I'm just saying, that's, you have to start somewhere, and you can't just expect, because just say because I'm the mayor now, like, it's just gonna be this is a major city with like millions of people. And the reality of a lot of the things that go on is some of the stuff is out of people's hands, like, that's what people don't talk about, like, when people do like real bogus stuff, you know what I'm saying, like, kind of just like airing out like block parties and stuff like that, like, when you kind of look at that, like, like they must have did something that that warranted that, not justifying it and saying that it's okay, but you know speaking as somebody who's had somebody taken away, and lost their life, somebody that I was close to, in a situation like that, like, people, you know I mean, people never cease to amaze me, and the reality is, yeah, we got to start somewhere, and it definitely takes a village. So I'm definitely about trying to detox Chicago, because we definitely are intoxing with all of the various things that people look at, from social media, from the music that you listen to the food you eat, to just living and going about your business day to day. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, you go work out and try to, burn calories and burn fat and stuff like that. So just kind of think about it like that. Like, how are you not necessarily fasting from all of these, low frequency, type vibes? Like, how are you actually, you know, kind of balancing it out, you know? So think about that and holler back. But I'm definitely about bringing the change to my city. I love my city. Like, I may talk reckless at times, and I definitely have a love-hate relationship with Chicago, but it's not necessarily the city and the people. Is more of the, like I said, the misappropriation and misallocation of the funding that should actually help to facilitate some of the things that I've been talking about for a while. Like, like, I link up with some of the people who are calling the shots. Sometimes, most of the time, I don't even hear back from them, so it's just like, yeah, I'm going to continue to do what I need to do, but we all need to come together and do this as a collective for Chicago. One shot.